everybody. Welcome to the Hop, the Craft Beer Podcast. We are back. It's Thursday. I am Stephen Humes here with Gabriel Apria for another new round of beer drinking.
It's been so long. We've missed you all. We hope you've missed us. We are back, ready. It's been cold where I am. I don't know about where Stephen is, but we're taking things in the more warmer climate. We're going down to Florida today.
We're going to fly south for the winter to a brewery that I would call iconic. See what I did there?
I see what you did there, but no one else does yet.
Well, it's AmerIcon Brewing. AmerIcon out of Vero Beach, Florida. I almost said California. It's not California. It's Florida.
It's not California.
And they are a brewery that some family visited on my behalf. And that means they made their way to the hop. So congratulations and welcome. Today is all about AmerIcon out of Vero Beach, and we're super pumped about it.
Apparently, this is one of the big sells for going to see Vero Beach. They apparently have this brewery's main place, the main brewery place. Their building is the oldest municipal building in the area. So,
and it's a beautiful looking spot. Yeah, I mean, when you look at, just the outside is enticing, but if you're watching on YouTube, which is a thing you can do, the brewery is behind me and they have a really nice bar, several floors. I mean, it's hard to find a picture that really does the whole place justice, but it looks great. So I'm excited to dive into it with you all.
Hell yeah.
And it does feel like it's been forever since we've been here on the microphones. Feels like it even longer than it may feel for the listeners, but for us, it's been a while.
It's crazy. It's like, ooh, let me settle in, let me get comfy, and let's drink about it.
So you can follow the show and engage with us on social media if you would like to. We are at the HO Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find our personals. I am at Shakesbeerist. Gabe is at Gaberade67. If you're new here, we are The Hop. What we do is we drink beer, we have fun, we try to make beer fun, informative, and inclusive each and every week. You can watch the show on YouTube as a video product, as I mentioned. Just search for The Hop, a Craft Beer Podcast. Once you've found us, subscribe and click that bell so that you get notified whenever an episode goes live or whenever we drop new, fun videos, which we do from time to time. You can find us on Facebook. You can send us an email if you'd like, thehopod@gmail.com. And most importantly, wherever you listen, however you engage, if you could leave us a rate and review if you're a fan, that would be super helpful. It's a helpful way for us to get your feedback, learn what works, what could be improved, and it also helps people like you find the show and join our Hop community. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, wherever you're listening, give us a rate and review and help spread the word about the Hop nation that we've built here.
Let us know what breweries to hit up next. Let us know what breweries to repeat. Let us know if you've ever had AmerIcon beers. They seem very exclusive to Florida. So this is definitely the first time I've drank in this brewery. So I'm excited. Let us know if there's anything else, any of the more popular crazy beers that it's just like, guys, you got to get your hands on. I mean, maybe we'll see them again. But yeah, engage with us. We're here for you guys.
Let's get into it.
Beer news.
All right, so some highlights, a lot going on in the beer world as of late. Sweetwater has now partnered with Reyes Beer Division for distribution across California.
Huge.
Yep. So that's a big deal. Sweetwater making a lot of moves. We've mentioned that they've partnered with Tilray recently. They're kind of positioning themselves to, should cannabis be legalized on a federal level. So a lot going on with Sweetwater, but now they can be distributed across Cali. Hard Mountain Dew has officially launched in several states. Woo! So may God be with you.
So it's all downhill from here.
Yes. Other Half has opened their new brewery in Philly. That's in Fishtown, Philadelphia. We've had Other Half on our show a couple of times, and we did mention that was coming, but it is now available. So if you find yourself in Philly, get at it. And Firestone Walker has released their Parabola for 2022. It's always delicious. This year's vintage is going to be just as delicious as all the vintages are. It's an intense imperial stout. And this year, it comes out with a Paraboloid spin-off.
Paraboloid.
Which is, it's a new thing that they're doing. It's a limited small batch spin-off aged in rare older stock barrels from premium spirits producers. Specifically this year, 14-year-old Old Fitzgerald bourbon barrels and 18-year-old Sazerac rye whiskey barrels. Slurp.
Yeah,
Yum.
that's putting it lightly. I mean, their big thing was all about putting it in the barrels, and then this time, as you mentioned, they're trying to get a little craftier with it, get a little more, spice things up a little bit more. So it's interesting to see. It's really dope, and I know Stephen will get his hands on that.
Yes. In less exciting news, let's talk about Modern Times for a minute. There's a lot going on with Modern Times.
Isn't there something going on with Modern Times?
Correct. We've previously reported on the show, Jacob McKean is the CEO that had to step down amid reports that the company was fostering a hostile work culture, harassment, things like that. They were joined by Jennifer Briggs is their new CEO, and she's been working to get the place off the ground. But long story short, they had to announce that they were closing 4 of their 8 tap rooms and laying off 73 people. So they're closing their tap rooms in Portland, Oakland, Santa Barbara, and Los Angeles. So those are some very big markets, and
yeah, that's nuts.
They're in some definite financial trouble. All breweries are due to the pandemic, obviously, but with Modern Times, that's a big player, and for them to be making a move like this, it feels dire. It feels like a statement of where we are in the industry.
AKA not good, not good at all.
Along those lines, there's an excellent article in Good Beer Hunting, great beer reporting website by their Kate Burnott, who does a lot of excellent reporting for them. Basically talking about the fact that Modern Times is interested in being sold or, finding a buyer to help them out of this situation. So something that they're exploring, something that they're interested in, something to keep an eye on. But the news for the time being is those 4 tap rooms will be closing, and they're in the market to get bought.
So if you want to buy Modern Times, come on down.
The market is open.
All right. Kind of staying on the not so fun news. Threes Brewing, Brooklyn-based brewery. We've had them on the show. Great beer. Their CEO, Josh Stallman. Josh, buddy, let's talk. This may be kind of an old news segment, but it's, we're doing every other week now, so it's a little current for us. But basically, the CEO made some pretty bad comments on social media, comparing the vaccine mandate to, quote, not my words, quote, Nazi Germany. So yeah, Josh, homeboy, let's talk. Brewbound reported on this and said, quote, that he was quoted saying it's a crime against humanity, and those who don't speak out against them can be considered a conspirator. He did an interview with the New York Times talking about all of this, and not great. Josh, figure it out, clean it up. Maybe keep those comparisons elsewhere. We are, as we said, something happens, we're going to report on it.
Yep. Old news, but definitely worth mentioning. How about some positive news? How about a brewery returning to the hands that spawned it?
That birthed it.
Squatters, the founders of Squatters Brewing out of Utah, have pulled a takesy backsy. They are purchasing
pending.
Yeah, they're purchasing their restaurants and brew pubs back from their namesake brewery, which is Wasatch and Squatters. So both of them, they're purchasing those restaurants and brew pubs back from the Canarchy Craft Brewery Collective that had bought them. So that's fun because the Canarchy Craft Brewery Collective, as we reported before, was sold to Monster Beverage Company in a $330 million sale. So the Squatters and Wasatch brands will not be a part of that. They are being taken back by original founders. Jeff Polychronis, Peter Cole are the dudes' names. So that's great news. You love to see craft return to the craft family and not be a part of whatever's going on with Monster Beverage Company.
Yeah, because it's just bananas what they're doing. So good for them.
Yeah.
All right, and back down to the negatives. We need to pour one out. We got some more guys that are now gone. There have been a couple brewery closures, including Ska Street Brewstillery out of Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah.
They have announced that they are shutting their doors. Oscar Blues, also in Boulder, Colorado, their Boulder location is being closed. COVID, all this other crap, can't keep up. It happens. There is another brewery that is called Hair of the Dog. That's being closed. This one isn't as sad. It's obviously we don't want a brewery to close, but this one is a little less sad because the founder, Alan Sprints, is retiring, and the 29-year-old Oregon Craft Brewery is closing with him. So he's taking what he made and saying, no, I don't want anyone else to have it. I'm taking it with me. So, Alan, thank you for your service. Enjoy retirement. We are sorry to see your brewery go, hence the music. But those are some brewery closures. We hope to see less because we're not a big fan of them.
Agreed. And we hate having to play that music, but it does somehow, it eases the pain of having to announce all this.
We hate to play it, but there's always a little bit of a giggle behind it just because it's
fun.
so dramatic and dense.
It's very intense. I don't really know how to segue into this next one, but
back to positive. We really should categorize these. This is not good on our part.
It's kind of it's always kind of a ping pong. But hey, there's Harry Potter beer in the world.
Yay! Lit.
Listen, I really wrestled with whether or not this belonged in the news for a lot of reasons. One is that we don't report on beer releases. Another is that J.K. Rowling
sucks.
Needs to shut her mouth. But I'll get to it. There's a reason I needed to talk about this. But Evil Genius Beer Company out of Philly is throwing a party in celebration of there's a Harry Potter exhibition that's coming to the Franklin Institute. So to celebrate that, they've released a beer. It's a glitter beer called, spoiler alert, it's Leviosa, not Leviosa. That's
longest beer name I've ever heard of.
That's
but
the title.
We'll see.
It's 6% ABV. It looks a lot like the unicorn farts. To be honest, it's a glitter beer.
It does, yeah.
I don't know if it's a sour or what it is, but that's out there. I guess we could find out. But it's exciting. It looks very pretty. No, you know what it is? It's a vanilla caramel blonde ale with glitter in it.
Yeah,
yum.
Yeah. I'd be into that.
And
I'd be into a sampling of that.
Kind of there to mimic butterbeer, according to the company. They're also throwing out some specialty themed cocktails for this event. They're having a charity fundraiser, but they're throwing out
party.
They've got a throwing snowballs at Voldemort, which is a butterbeer slushy with stateside vodka, as well as defrosting broomsticks, which is a butterbeer inspired martini. So,
ooh, if you want to get fancy,
the beer kicked off on February 18th, and it will continue to exist, and the cocktails will be running at the brewery until March 20th. There's also a bunch of other stuff going on that you can read about on Brewbound or on Evil Genius's website. There is a Harry Potter 5K taking place, Hogwarts Running Club, that's happening on March 12th. There's a block party going on, and then there's the reason this is in the news, which is that there's a brunch happening on March 20th. It's a drag brunch, and it's called Gryffindor in the Streets, Slytherin in the Sheets. And I mean, come on. It's hilarious.
Whoever's the head of that marketing team, well done.
Is that a wand in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? Get ready to Dumbledore Philly's hottest drag queens at our Harry Potter drag brunch.
Oh my god!
This event is endorsed. Yeah, the puns are off the chart, and that's why it's in the news. So
wow,
if you find yourself in Philly, Gabe, what's your house?
Have
you taken the test?
I don't know which one is the correct one to do. I've had friends just be like, "Do this one." I'm like, "Okay, fine." Gryffindor, baby.
Slytherin, baby.
I knew. Yeah, I was like, "You're probably Slytherin."
That I don't like that you assumed that about me.
Not in a negative way, just like in a. Anyway,
say less.
I just want to read the beginning of this sentence. Calling all muggles and mudbloods, evil genius is paying homage to Harry Potter with a month-long celebration, yada, yada, yada. That got me. That was funny.
It's great. It was worthy
fun.
of, just fun. We're just trying to have fun here.
Let's have even more fun.
I can already tell this episode's running long. Here we go.
Who cares?
This week in gross.
All right, we'll make this quick. Basically, I was presented with a newspaper article recently about infused beers and how they're changing the game and how they're changing the market. And then I came across two breweries who have to answer some questions. Oconee Brewing Co., Oconee of Georgia, saw visitors from across the country and received widespread publicity when it developed Bacon and Kegs, a bacon-infused red ale in collaboration with the Waffle House restaurant chain. Okay, but here's where it gets really bad. They apparently add bacon extract to the fermenters.
Oh my god.
Ew.
Nope.
Nope.
But this isn't even the worst part of this article, because I, believe it or not, have had bacon infused beer before. It's bad. It is bad.
But it's the bacon. It's the word extract that gets me. It's like I feel like it's the like oil and like when you cook bacon in a pan and then you take the bacon out, what's left in the pan you pour in the fermenters.
I mean, I don't know. I think
so.
Beer would just end up being smoky and gross. But the thing is, disturbingly, that I have had it before. What I've never had before is a hot dog inspired beer. Nor do I want to be honest. But apparently the fine folks at Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company in Bucks County thought that would be a good idea and at one point did it. May have been a couple of years ago, but I don't know what to say. It was released at a Wawa, so
this one is really disappointing to me because I've had Neshaminy Creek beer, and it is very good. It is very, very good. They're more than deserving of their own episode. But then you read, and I'm quoting, this is from the brewery. We did, in fact, put actual hot dogs in the brew kettle, but we were more concerned with making a beer that paired well with hot dogs. For God's sakes, why?
Beer already pairs well with hot dogs. It doesn't need any help. You don't have to put hot dogs in the beer to make it pair well with the hot dog.
God, I was disappointed.
Bud Light is trash, but it pairs well with a hot dog.
Yeah. Honestly, I would much rather have a Bud Light with a hot dog than this beer alone and nothing else. And that's saying something.
Well, you know what? They did say that part of the advantage for them of doing it was the exposure they got, and we're talking about them on the hop, so maybe it served its purpose. But
we'll get their better beers and bring those on the show.
That's what we call a Randy Jackson here. That is a no from me, dog.
Samesies.
Gabe?
Yes.
Let's get into drinking some good beer.
Let's do that.
Give us a toast.
Normally, we play music, we have fun, we probably read a poem or Shakespeare. Today, we're going to bring it down. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that things are not going well overseas. There has been just a whole bunch of bullshit going on. And basically, we just wanted to take a moment and we just wanted to say, our thoughts and prayers are with the families and the people of the Ukraine, anyone who has been affected by what is currently happening, anyone that is hiding in the subways, anyone that has been, taken from their home or had their home taken from them. This is just another dark time, and we just want to take a moment, pause and breathe and reflect. And as one of our main missions is to hopefully take your mind off of things just for an hour, laugh a little, drink a little, and get back into a more positive mindset. So that is all I have to say. Normally, I wear blue and yellow for the Chargers. I am going to wear blue and yellow for more than that one reason now. So that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. I think enough said on that, but definitely there's some major human rights issues in the world today. Better folks than us will be speaking about this, hopefully louder than we ever could, but does feel like something worth mentioning, and raising a glass to peace today feels like a worthwhile thing to do. So
to peace. There we go. To peace.
There we go.
Love it. All right. Now let's drink
some
about
beer.
it.
Okie dokie. So at long last, we've arrived at the first beer we're drinking, and it is the AmerIcon Blonde Ale. Now the brewery is
Blondes
called
have more fun.
Breweries, and she's having so much fun on this can. More later. The brewery is called American Icon. This beer is called AmerIcon. You see what they did there? It's confusing to read, but that's what it is. It's 5.2% ABV.
It looks better written down than saying it.
Yeah, exactly. It's it looks better on paper. 5.2%. IBUs are at 20. No rating from Beer Advocate. 3.48 from Untapped. And the SRM chart, it's a golden yellow color. It's a straw color. I would put it maybe around an 8, maybe 7, somewhere in there.
It's like yellow that wants to be orange,
Yes, golden sunshine. It's a blonde ale, and that's what it looks like in the glass. It poured with a little bit of what I would call eggshell foam. Actually, a good bit of it. It was probably about an inch at first, dissipated, but it has some lingering foam here in the glass. Not much lacing to speak of, though.
It does look good though. It just looks like a solid. I feel like if you had the correct mug, it'd be the beer emoji. It's the quick description from the can just says a crisp and flavorful blonde ale brewed with American Cascade hops. Wonderful. Sign me up.
From the brewery, this classic is as American as beer gets, and with a relatively low ABV, it makes for a great sessionable brew. AmerIcon serves up a clean, crisp flavor similar in body to our Pilsner, but with a creamier mouthfeel, which is what I love about a blonde ale. I mean, it's everything flavor-wise, all of the maltiness that you love of a Pilsner, but but it's not a lager, so it does have something a little bit creamier to it, something a little bit smoother.
And what's interesting is, based off of the smell I just took, it smells creamy in a way. It smells very soft and pillowy a little bit, on top of the fact that you've got those you've got those hops, you've got the maltiness. It does smell a little bit piney as well. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's dive into it on the nose. It is one of their year-round offerings as well. So apparently very, very popular in the old taproom.
Yeah, apparently it's one of their best sellers. On their website, they did report that it had Cascade and Centennial hops. So hoping we'll get a little bit of taste of those.
Yeah, I mean, there's the nose is malty for sure. You get the grain, you get the straw, you get the hay, you get the honey. But there's a citrusy, there's a citrus quality to it though. There's a sweetness, there's a fruitiness to it. Maybe some berry, maybe some grapefruit.
Hidden. It's very hidden, but it is there. Yeah, if you really look for it, it is there. I would completely agree.
And I think that's the Centennial hops coming through. It's, Cascade and Centennial do have a sort of citrusy, juicy sort of quality to them, not in the way that a Citra does or like a Simcoe, but in a more dank kind of way, I guess, which in an IPA there would be so much of them that it would give it that bitter quality. Here, it just gives it a nice sort of sweetness, a nice, like a berry really is what stands out to me, like maybe raspberry almost or something. Not that it smells like raspberry, but there's that sweet quality behind all of the maltiness, the grassiness, the earthiness, all those kinds of things.
And normally, we find, citrus and orange, lemon, but I don't think that's really that strong here. I feel like it's more on like kind of what you were saying of like if we had to pick something more on like the berry-ish side. So,
well, we're running long. Let's get to drinking it. Cheers.
Here we go. Yeah, solid. It's very solid. It's very. I don't mean this in a negative way, but it is pretty simple. It's very straightforward. Just a classic. Not classic style, but kind of a classic taste. I think I have tried blonde ales that have been a little more flavorful or a little more creamier or what aspect of this. This has a nice combination of both. The flavor isn't explosive, but it is malty, little hoppy, a little bit of, now I'm starting to get just like a hint of lemon on the taste with a little bit of pininess behind it. Earthiness.
Yes, I agree. I think that there is citrus quality for sure. I don't know why I'm liking this so much. Maybe it's just what I'm in the mood for today. It's very, very crushable. Very easy drinking. This is going to be gone in like a couple seconds. It's smooth. It's flavorful and delicious, but without being too overwhelming or anything like that. Very, like they say in their description, very sessionable. I get the citrus, I get the sweet, I get for sure the malt, that Pilsner malt, that cracker, that grain, that straw, all of that stuff, the hay. That's the start of the show. Yeah, that's the start of the show. And then there's the hops are behind that with the little bit of citrusness, with the citrusness, with a little bit of berry, with the kind of fruity side of things that the hops bring to the table. Mouthfeel wise, it is very clean and crisp in the mouth. Got a creaminess to it. Got a little bit of lingering aftertaste that I wouldn't even describe as bitter. I would describe it as just
flavorful. Yeah,
just a little bit of lingering sweetness, I guess. But overall, it's like you could just, this light up the barbecue. Let's sit outside. You know what I mean?
Light up the barbecue. I never thought I'd say this about a craft beer. Beer pong. Why not? I think it's. Yeah. Just don't let the cup spill because then you're wasting craft beer. But, I think it's light enough that it can be used for something like that. Barbecue, I instantly think outside. Cornhole.
Summer weather, nice day in California or Vero Beach. Perfect for sitting outside under the palm trees,
Or at the DMV.
Or
you get there, you're number 1500, they're on number 7, and you have to wait a little while. I don't know. But solid way to start. Solid way to start for like a flight. Solid way to okay, I'll also say this. I think this would be a great beer for hair of the dog. You wake up, you're hungover as shit. You need to just bounce back, shower beer. grab one of these bad boys. Bad ladies, AmerIcon Blonde.
Yeah, it opens up the palate really nicely. And it's so it would work very well to start a flight. And it's, again, it's just one of those easy drinking sort of beers that maybe you don't think of as the star of the show in your beer lineup, but like they really serve a purpose and they're great. And this one is really well done. It's really well balanced. It's got a great mouthfeel. It's got a lot going for it. Is it like a mind-blowing beer in terms of like anything I haven't seen before? No, but as we say all the time, that doesn't mean that it's not a well-crafted one.
Yeah, like that's fine. So shut up.
Shut up and drink it.
Shut up and drink it. Yeah, I'm into it. I mean, they're doing something right. It's one of the more popular beers for the brewery. So I think now's the perfect time to segue. Icons aren't born, they're brewed.
That's right. That is the philosophy behind this brewery, founded by Michael Rechter. He's a real estate developer, investor, entrepreneur. And he has been in the hospitality business throughout Florida since 1998, according to the company's website. And they're a brewery in Vero Beach. They also have a location in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes.
He purchased this diesel plant that's behind me in 2016, and the brewery, the production space, opened in 2017. He owns it along with co-owners Carl Berry and Jason Emmett. Another two dudes that have a lot of experience in the hospitality industry in Florida specifically. These are dudes that are pretty much Florida through and through. They're basically, born and raised in small rural towns there. They've worked in, hospitality throughout Florida, various restaurants, various different things like that. And they landed here at this brewery. And then the brewmaster is Jesse Robles, who was a home brewer when he was a young adult. Then he expanded. He enrolled in the Siebel Institute of Technology in Chicago and Munich, where he studied brewing technology and things like that. And that's how he sort of developed his approach to brewing. And so you see a lot of that German influence in a lot of the beers that they have there, since that's where he trained. And
it's cool also because like the brewery is very historic. As I said earlier, it's the brewery, the building is the oldest municipal building in the area. On February 26, 1999, it was added to the U.S. National Register of Historic Places. It started off as that power plant in 1926. Eventually got vacated, eventually got bought, and here we go. And they still have a generator, I believe, that still works.
From the original property?
Generator unit, yeah, from the original property. It still works, and they're still using it. Or it's there. I don't know if they use it for beer, but
that's dope. I mean, it's an example of a community repurposing a space in. And this guy Michael Rechter, he's kind of known in the Vero Beach area for rehabilitating properties like that. He's rehabilitated properties like the Majestic Plaza, the Indian River Plaza on US Highway 1, Vero Bowl, Sticks Billiard Club. If you know Vero Beach and any of this means anything to you, great. Yeah. The point is that this guy, Michael, Mr. Rechter, he knows what he's doing around rehabilitating properties, and that's what he did here with this brewery. And, based on what I'm looking at as I look at the space, to great success.
Yeah, so. Honestly, hey, he's been doing it for a while. He clearly knows what he's doing because pretty big brewery for the area at least. So I'm pumped we were able to get our hands on their beers.
Yes, and they have a great team behind them. And then in addition to that, they do have, as I mentioned, a location in Fort Lauderdale. What's behind me is the Vero Beach location, but they do have a tap room in Fort Lauderdale as well, which has a sort of fun, like, nightclub kind of vibe to it if you look at it. The pictures are very, very pretty. I'm seeing lots of red. I'm seeing lots of, like, fun lighting. I'm seeing some fun paintings on the outside of it. It's got a really cool vibe to it. So you can visit them in either of those places.
It's a hip young crowd.
Yes. I guess in Florida.
Maybe. I don't know.
Florida's a weird place. I don't know. You can also order online.
Florida's muggy. Like, it's always humid. Sorry.
Florida's muggy, and there's some weirdness there, but there's great beer, and
yeah,
that's what we're here to talk about. Do you want to offer any final thoughts on this beautiful blonde ale besides the can art? Which, I mean, I'm just gonna say it. It's sexy, and Gabe will talk about it later. But
yum. I don't think so. I think we've hit everything. Like it's the first word that comes to mind is solid. It's very, very solid. That's all I got.
I agree. It's flavorful, but not too flavorful. It's sessionable, but not weak.
Correct.
It is exactly what you want out of a blonde ale. And as they said in their description, I think it's everything you want out of a Pilsner with a slightly creamier and more full-bodied mouthfeel that is enjoyable. Carbonation is right where it should be. Like, everything is in line for just an easy drinking experience, which is why we blonde ale. So
if you don't like beer or you don't drink beer often, I would probably suggest this as a starter to get you into it.
I might, although it is not like a sour or something that's going to like change your mindset of what beer is. So if you're someone who doesn't like beer because you think like Bud Light is beer, I don't think this one's going to like, not that this is way better than Bud Light, but this is not going to like change your mind in that world. I don't think.
True. I mean, if you like pour it on the person, it might, but that's neither here nor there.
Could go either way.
All right.
Is it time for number 2?
Let's do the second one.
Let's get hazy up in this piece.
Bro, hit this.
Was that your haze? That was your haze?
That was my haze, because if you look at the can, you'll understand what I'm talking about. We've got the Icon Haze IPA. For those of you on YouTube, you can clearly see why I did what I did. Sexy can. Can't wait to talk about it. 6.2%, 30 IBUs, no rating on Beer Advocate. Untapped gave it a 3.73. The note from the brewery: this New England style juicy IPA, Steven's favorite, has a ton of juicy hop aroma and flavor without bitterness. Boasts a frothy haze-like appearance with a medium body and smooth finish. Made with Amarillo, Equinot, and Bravo hops. Huh.
The can says it's brewed with Sultana, Mosaic, Amarillo, and Citra hops.
Correct.
So
what I was reading was online, so
right.
I would assume we go with the can.
I think we go with the can on this one.
Great.
And it's interesting because Sultana, I don't know what that is. Mosaic and Citra, that's pretty standard in the hazy IPA family, and then Amarillo is something that can go either way. It can be in a bitter one or a non-bitter one. What I will say is that, first of all, I poured mine into a pint glass. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the head is very thick and it's just camped. I mean, it's just here. It's like got a lot of retention to it. Very, kind of soapy, sudsy head on there. White foam.
I will admit, I originally poured into I have a mason jar glass with a handle, and it was like half foam, half beer. And I was like, oh, this won't do. So I switched it over to this glass, which is why I only have a little bit of foam. But correct, when I first poured it, Foam City.
And as far as haze goes, I mean, yours looks a little hazier than mine feels to me. It is hazy. I will not say it's not, but it's almost to the point where I'd say, we like to make this distinction, and I would say it's almost just cloudy. It's not really hazy. We've seen much hazier IPAs than this. This has some see-through quality to it. It's not completely opaque. So
mine is more on the haze orange juice side, but like I said, I had to transfer glasses, so I could have done it. That's probably what happened.
Right.
On the SRM chart, I don't know. I'd probably give it like a 6-7, that range.
Yeah.
It's very yellow.
It is very yellow. It's surprisingly pale in color. I would say I might even go to a 5. It's pretty yellow and not a very amber cop, nothing like that. It's very light color, very straw colored. The nose We'll
New
provide all the
England
answers we need.
Juicy. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. It's been a while, I will admit. It has been a while, so it's, I'm not upset about this, but it is very New England, juicy, citrusy, all that stuff.
But let's try to parse this out a little bit, right? Is it citrusy? Yes. So what kind of citrus? I would say grapefruit peel. I would say there's a bitter quality to it. Again, I am going to attribute that because I don't know what Sultana hops are. I'm going to attribute that to the Amarillo hops. There's a bitter, piney, almost dank thing on the nose that I would expect from more of a West Coast IPA. So there is that bitter bite. It's not just straight up juice citrus with nothing underneath it.
It's a little bit of like citrus spice. And that might be like orange rind, grapefruit rind. Maybe that's where it's coming from. But there's a little bit. The first word that came to mind was just a little bit of like spiciness, and not spiciness like in a Belgian. I mean spiciness just in like a orange peel, lemon peel. Yeah, Jordan K Peel. I'm kidding.
Is his middle initial K?
Jordan. Did you
just mix up Key and Peel and Jordan Peele?
I might have. I thought it was K. I thought I Jordan Peele. Let's keep it at that.
Okay. Yeah, it's got a body to it that I think I think is a little bit more in the middle than a lot of hazy IPAs you could have, especially if you're in New England, being from New England. We've had a lot that are very, very juicy. This one it smells like it's going to be juicy, but there's just a dank quality underneath it. So I think that's worth pointing out. But I agree, it's spicy. It's got an earthiness to it. It's got something peppery underneath it. It's not just and it's not very tropical. A lot of hazy IPAs tend to be mango, guava, pineapple. That's not what I feel with this. I feel grapefruit. I feel, maybe tangerine, maybe orange peel, but I don't feel mango or, papaya or anything like in that world.
Right. Yeah, let's drink our feelings, because if that's what we've been feeling, let's get into it.
Fine, if you insist.
Ugh. Now that's interesting. The description from the brewery says hop aroma and flavor without bitterness. That is correct. However, I think I'm kind of missing the bitterness. I think there's just, when I read New England Juicy IPA, my brain goes to where it's supposed to go. I know what's going on. And so to have it like almost in a way not follow through on all the New England like the New England style juicy is like, I feel like it goes to a certain point and then when I swallow the beer, it just stops. And that to me is very interesting. And I'm like, maybe I do want the bitterness. That being said, I think it's flavorful. I think it's a little zingy in the mouth. I think there's not a huge bite, but a small one, and it's present. I like the mouthfeel. It's carbonated and I don't want to say funky because that makes it sound like a sour, but it's festive in a way. It's different.
Yeah, I feel that this beer was hard to find a lot of information on. And as a result of that, I think that what we're reading on their website is not necessarily in line with what I'm drinking, which is totally fine. That's what we're here for, people, to shepherd you through it. But it is worth noting that this may not be the version that they're currently serving at their tap room because this may be an older version of it. That said,
True.
They have hop oils in here and the way it's brewed. I don't know. I take issue with this saying without bitterness because there is bitterness in this. And is it hazy? Is it a juicy New England IPA? Not really.
Yeah,
not all the way. Like, it's a citrusy IPA. I will give you that.
That's what I mean. Like, it doesn't finish. It's like going right over the hill and then it stops at the top as it's about to roll down. I agree with that.
Yeah, this is nothing wrong with it. It's throwing me for a loop because I'm reading, without bitterness, I'm reading 30 IBUs. To me, this has 60 IBUs, and to me, this is a pretty bitter IPA with some citrus quality to it, a la Deschutes Fresh Squeeze IPA.
A la.
Is that how you say that?
I'm not actually getting a lot of bitter. It's interesting that you all. I feel like I'm not.
I'm definitely getting some. And also, to have a guy smoking a full-ass joint on the can implies dankness to me.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
That implies resin. That does not imply juicy citrus, New England. So
yeah.
What am I saying here? I'm saying that this is very good. Our version is brewed with Sultana, Mosaic, Amarillo, and Citra hops. The one that they're currently advertising is brewed with Amarillo, Yucca Nut, and Bravo hops. Maybe whatever they're serving now.
Yucca Nut. I did not say Yucca Nut. I said something. Whoa, wow.
Oh,
okay.
It may be Equinut. I don't know.
I didn't say that either.
I don't know what it is, but whatever they're serving is different from what we're drinking, and it might be less bitter. It might be more hazy. I don't know. They do also have other hazy IPAs in their arsenal that they bust out from time to time. So if you're a fan of the juicy, hazy, New Englandy thing, they do bust those out in their, seasonal styles. But this one, in terms of just judging it in terms of the style that it claims to be, I think it's much more subtle than someone might want. I think it's a good beer. I have no issue with the beer flavor. I have no problem with the way it tastes or anything. I just, mouthfeel wise, it's pretty well carbonated. I would say it's got a little bit, it has a bite. I've said that. The back end is lingering bitterness, but overall, to me, this drinks more like a standard IPA than a traditional New England IPA as they've come to be known. But it's kind of in the middle of those two things.
Okay, well, going to your point earlier, the quote from the website, this medium-bodied IPA is light in color and features a subtle piney character with bright citrusy notes evocative of popular West Coast styles. So, there is something different. Maybe we're not drinking the exact one.
You're reading. They have a very confusing website. That is the description for the Icon IPA, not the Icon Haze, which is next to it. That one says,
"Oh my God, you're so right."
It's confusing, but that one says,
I am literally so embarrassed.
I'm not editing it out. It's staying. Right
I know
where
you're not, you bastard. Damn it. Okay, well, ignore that then.
This is where it says juicy hop aroma and flavor without bitterness, and that's where I go, not the version I'm drinking, but again, this was purchased, a month or two ago, and it may have changed. So,
food pairing: wings, burgers, pizza, and sharp cheeses. I'll give them that. I will give you that. Correctamundo.
Any day of the week. Dave, you ready to talk about this beautiful lady and this Afro stoner I'm looking at here?
Handsome gentleman, I am indeed. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Can Art and Crafts.
Yeah, blazing through, running out of time. Let's do it. The AmerIcon blonde. We've got a lovely blonde lady sitting with her jean overalls on top of a keg. She looks like she works at the brewery. She also looks like she poses for the brewery. Could be both. Whatever. No judgment. I like the can. It's very cartoonish, but the words are big and bold, and it kind of looks like comic black and white comic book style pictures behind it of like a city. And then we've got the Icon Haze IPA, which is a handsome Afro gentleman who looks like he's living his best life, smoking and just enjoying the cloud that is as big as his afro. I am going to give the American Blonde, I'm going to give it a solid 9. I'm going to give the Icon Haze IPA a solid 9.7. I think both cans are fun, cartoonish. I feel like they're both similar in the style of like cartoon that was being drawn for them. And I'm into it. I think these are great. You would be able to notice them. Bob Ross is here and agrees. But bam, he's patriotic as they come. And that's another great edition of Can Arts and Crafts.
Patriotic. Yes, they are patriotic indeed.
Patriotic. Real quick, I want to do this. Let's rank these.
Yeah, I was gonna do it too, and it's blonde ale for me.
Okay, same here. I didn't know which direction we both were going in, but I gotta go with the blonde ale. The IPA is good. It's solid. It's a hazy mother effer, but I gotta go. The blonde is just, and I'm not gonna. I was gonna say it's more fun, but that's just me being an idiot. No, like honestly, it's just there's something more enjoyable about it for me.
I can't believe that you gave the can art for the IPA a higher score than the American Blonde, just because this lady that's on this can, I mean, I don't mean to be, but like, I think that's what they're going for. She's a cartoon, so I don't even feel bad about objectifying her. She's a looker with sex appeal. It's very attractive. So,
okay, I gave it a 9. Stephen gives it a 10.
Yes.
So we'll. There you
She's
go.
Beautiful. She drew me right in. Okay, should we talk about this doozy of a last call before we get out of here?
Yes. Before we do, we're not going to go into it because we don't have a lot of time. But they have really wild other beers to choose from. They've got a great seasonal selection. It's all really, really crazy names and styles. Go check it out. Do some research. You know what? We've done enough research for you. Go and look. I'm just kidding. Do your thing. But yeah, last call. This is nuts.
Last call.
So I
know I'm gonna laugh and I feel bad, but this is a serious situation for the human, but it's funny to me and it came across my Facebook. So here we are. Finnish skier suffers frozen penis at Winter Olympics and details the unbearable aftermath. The man's name is Remy Lindholm. He is a skier. He was in the men's 50-kilometer cross-country skiing event, and his horrifying injury struck him. Apparently, the race was happening. There were very strong winds, and Lindholm did not win a medal. That makes it worse.
He did not win a medal. Then he also froze his penis.
Oh my God.
Frostbite is a thing, and apparently you can get it on the gonads. He came home in 28th, and he detailed this in the locker room afterwards. I don't even know what to say about it other than that this is apparently the second time this man has happened to it. Now,
within the span of 4 months, homeboy, you need another sport.
A heat bag supposedly came to his rescue once the race was over, although he expressed concern about his prospects of having children in the future.
That's real.
Yes, if you freeze the juice, it may not...
Oh... It may not work.
It may not be as potent after.
Oh God, we're gonna get some letters. It's crazy to me. Like, this happening once is bad enough. I mean, you must have a love for this sport and no judgment, but my God, my guy, you need another gig.
Yeah, I mean, they don't go into a whole lot of detail about what this is. I assume this just means frostbite in the nether regions. But it does sound very scary and horrifying. And if it happened to be one time, I'd be like, well, it's winter, it's summer sports for me from now on. We're done on the skis. You need a different type of long johns, my dude. You need
seriously. You need a cup like other sports players wear. The second time it happened in a span of 4 months. How do you have this happen? Get back up on that horse and tackle it again. That's insanity to me.
He said that it caused him unbearable pain. Apparently, he needed a heat bag immediately to come to his rescue after the race was over. And he said in the locker room, quote, "You can probably guess what was on the ice when I got to the finish line." What does that mean?
What was on the ice? Did it fall off? Oh my God. Did he lose his...
Remy, it's not worth it.
It's
the medal
really
is not worth it.
He also got 28th. How embarrassing is that? Like, if he got gold, I'd be like, well, he's dedicated. But now that it's like he lost, it's like, you're just the idiot.
If you freeze your penis off, you should at least come in. You should at least medal.
You should at least
first.
You should at least get like an honorable mention and some money.
I don't mean to make light of this dude's injury, but at the same time, I do, and we are. So it's just so unbelievable that this could happen twice to a human. It seems like getting struck by lightning. You know, it seems like something that like once it happens to you, you're like, wow, that was crazy. Never again.
No more storms no more walks in the rain for me. And this guy's like, yeah, no, it's fine. It's working. I got it down to room temperature. We're good. Yeah, start the race. Bruh, do not start the race.
I feel bad because the Olympics, I felt like I watched the first week, and the second week, I had a lot going on. I was busy, and I just didn't watch like any of them. And then they ended, and then it was gone, and now they're just over, and they won't come back until they come back.
Yeah, I mean, I
feel like I neglected the Olympics.
And that never happens. I was able to watch most of it, but I will admit after the snowboarding, and not just Shaun White, I mean like all the men's and women's, after the snowboarding, I kind of checked out and it was more background noise. But I do like I can never remember the name of it. It's the cross-country skiing, and then they shoot the targets with the rifle.
That's the biathlon.
Biathlon. That I really like. I just think it's interesting that it's like ski and you're out of breath and because every time they cross the finish line at the end, every single time, every single competitor, no matter what, when they go past that finish line, whether they're first or last, they immediately drop down and like lay on the ground because they're so exhausted. It's like, I get sports make you tired, but at what point are we just like someone at one point has to sit there and go, what are we doing? You know?
I mean, that specific event, I mean, we've talked about it on the last episode, but that specific event, the thing is, it's challenging. Like cross-country skiing is really hard, and I don't need to ever do it again. I did it before, and I don't.
Woof.
It's like skiing without the fun downhill aspect.
Were you racing anyone? Like, did you win?
No. I was on flat ground. They're going uphill on skis. Like they're, trying to skate their way across. So it's physically exhausting. And then you add into it that they have to shoot these rifles. So it's mentally challenging, and there's like a level of focus. Like there's just a lot going on. And I'm sure it's exhausting. I don't understand. And I've talked about this before, so we won't beat this dead horse. I just don't understand why those two events were mashed together. It just seems like two such random things to me.
I think it'd be funny if they like made them eat like an entire rotisserie chicken. Like instead of this shooting, it's just like, yeah, no, eat this and then go again.
Exactly. It's like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do sailing, but when you sail past us, we're going to throw a baseball and you have to hit a home run while you're sailing the boat. It's just like so random that these things
ball was foul. Do it again.
I don't know. Well, Mr. Lind, what's his name? Remy. We'll just call him
Mr. Remy, my
the
man.
Finnish skier.
I feel for you. I do. But I mean, at a certain point, you've got to just you need to just say no thanks.
I
Because
think you need a sponsorship from Under Armour and whoever makes long johns and warm clothing, because clearly you're not layering up correctly.
apparently for the Olympics, there were days that it was like, yeah, the temperature is this and it feels like -8. It's like, no wonder these athletes are like, struggling. Like who,
Right.
why would you compete? I don't know. It's neither here nor there. The Olympics are fun and we look forward to it every single time. And now it's what's next? Summer 24?
24, I think. Yeah.
24. All right.
Got a little wait.
Let's do it.
Well, until then, keep drinking good beer. Keep at it. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a new episode. Another Throwback Thursday next week. American Icon. Great. Thank you.
Love each other. Peace. Be peaceful.